Today, May 15th, direct peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia were supposed to take place on neutral territory, in neutral country, in Istanbul, Turkey. This is late evening already, and the negotiations haven't even started. Both Ukrainian and Russian negotiation teams are in Istanbul, and most likely the negotiations will happen tomorrow. Many look forward to the negotiations and have hope of peaceful resolution. I dare to say that these negotiations are a farce. These negotiations are bound to fail, unfortunately. I still believe that peace in Ukraine will come later, and it will come from inside Russia, not from the front lines, not from a neutral country. It will come from inside Russia. Today, I want to share my reasons with you. Let's talk about it. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. As usual, you will not find any BS, propaganda, or lies here. Instead, you will find truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions, because I'm a human being after all. Boy, this is an important day, and this is certainly the final chapter of this tragic event called the war in Ukraine. I would like to tell you my thoughts of this negotiation and of what will come next. Now, before I start, I would like to ask you a question. Have you ever been a part of a big, important negotiation? I have. Took part in negotiating a few very expensive deals in the past when I was an executive at a large construction company. A few times negotiations were among partners. We called it consortium negotiations. Now, when you're a general contractor and bidding to construct a large power plant, turnkey, say a contract $250 million worth, you get a few large companies together because you can't build it by yourself. Very few companies in the world can, and we couldn't. So you get a few large companies together, usually a supplier of main equipment, let's say electrical turbines, an engineering design company who can design the facility turnkey, a construction company that actually will do construction, and you come to an agreement with everyone. And many times it was negotiating with potential customers. Usually customers wanted us to low proposed price and provide more services. But in all negotiations, it was always willingness of the parties to come to a positive result, to agree on something. And every time, all parties had to compromise. And the compromises were prepared way before negotiations took place. We call it homework. We always discussed and role-played negotiations way before participating in them. For example, lowering the price. We always knew the ceiling of how low we could go. At negotiations, it was simply telling new price and playing the role a little bit, then agreeing and shaking hands. But rarely They were different kind of negotiations. We called them nominal negotiations, when one of the parties was not interested in reaching an agreement. Then such party would give unachievable requirements, firm requirements, and wouldn't be willing to compromise. For example, a customer who didn't want to see us as the general contractor would require us to lower the price way too much, knowing it was economically not feasible, and knowing we couldn't do that physically. Usually, at a formal negotiation, when we took part of it, our team, myself included, we all had a gut feeling that something was not right. This gut feeling, this feeling you have, it comes with experience. And oh boy, do I have a gut feeling for this peace negotiation Istanbul right now. Well, you know what? Let's start with the beginning. Russia's president, Vladimir Putin, held a magnificent event, the V-Day parade, on May 9th. The parade was visited by the 27 world leaders, the important ones, the significant ones too. By holding this event, Vladimir Putin declared a victory in what he calls the special military operation. Well, he called it the war after the parade. He showed the world that he's not ostracized any longer. He is not isolated. He is not unshakable any longer. He is respected and liked. The following day after the parade, Putin addressed the nation. Well, it was called talking to the journalists, or addressing the journalists, where he called to conduct direct negotiations with Ukraine in Istanbul to reach a peace agreement. It was kind of a hidden slap in the face of the American president Donald Trump, because Trump has associated himself with the peace process since he became the president of the USA. And Putin here harshly just left him out of this peace negotiation. Ukraine agreed to the direct negotiations, and the date was set May 14th. May 15th. That is today. Zelensky, Ukrainian president, challenged Putin to come to Turkey and meet personally. Putin, in his usual manner, kept everyone in the dark. Kept everyone intrigued on his personal involvement until the very last minute. He usually does that. But we all understood that it was not going to happen right from the start. Well, it is the 15th of May. Both Ukrainian and Russian teams are in Istanbul and are ready to sit down at one table and negotiate. And I want to tell you why I think that the negotiations are bound to fail. Before I do that, I'd like to take a little break. Among YouTubers, it's called the mid-roll. And I have a message from the sponsor of this live stream. Yeah, I have the sponsor. His name is Konstantin. He is the host of Inside Russia channel. The sponsor of today's live stream wants to thank all his supporters. That is you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. Thank you for keeping interest. Thank you. Thank you everyone who's a part of Inside Russia. You being with me, you watching what I have to say, you participating in live stream chats is very important. It shows that you value my work highly. Thank you for everything. Thank you for sending me messages, encouragements. Thank you for praying along with me and for me. Thank you for buying me coffees at buymecoffee.com, for Patreon, for PayPal. I give you promise one more time. Despite being demonetized by Google, I will continue telling you the truth. You have my word. Thank you so much. Now, these are the reasons why I believe that negotiations between Ukraine and Russia are rigged by the Russian team. There are a few reasons. And number one is when you want to come to an agreement, you send the right people to negotiate. Depending on a scale of negotiations, you send the right officers. And I don't mean like military officers, but, officers, the managers of your company, of your government, people who are responsible for conducting negotiations. They must be knowledgeable and they must have the right to make decisions and present them and discuss them. Present arguments and discuss with the other side. They must have the right to compromise. Russian team consists of the head of the team, and that is the aide to the president of Russia, Vladimir Medinsky. He will be accompanied, he is accompanied in Istanbul by the deputy foreign minister Mikhail Galuzin, the chief of main directorate of the Army General Staff Igor Kostyukov, and the deputy defense minister Alexander Fomin. Is this the right team to negotiate? Medinsky, as the head of the state, two generals, a small guy from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Anyway, this is the team that was sent to Istanbul to negotiate. And boy, oh boy, these are not the right people. Number two, when you want to come to an agreement, you compromise. But to compromise, you need the authority to do so. Just like I said a couple minutes earlier. If you don't have authority to compromise, to offer some kind of a deal, then if you don't have the authority, it becomes a nominal negotiation. In Russia, when I was working for that construction corporation, we called it the negotiation for the sake of negotiation. Basically, you just want to show that you are there to negotiate, to participate in the process, and not to achieve the result. Who in the Russian negotiation team can take responsibility to negotiate? Who has the authority? The head of the team, Medinsky? Don't make me laugh. Putin's favorite, former Minister of Culture of Russian Federation, the guy who was involved in a scandal, one of his diploma works was a result of plagiarism. Medinsky is definitely not the right person to negotiate, and he's the head of the team. He's the boss. Now, one of the middle rank officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is that the guy who can do the negotiating on behalf of Russia to stop the war with Ukraine? The director of Russian army feared military intelligence, GRU. I don't know about that. I certainly don't have a feeling this man is a diplomat and he would be doing negotiations. No freaking way. He's the head of GRU. Why is he on this team in the first place? And then another general, the deputy minister of defense. What are they going to negotiate? Peace or war? I don't think you sent the generals, not the top generals, but very heavyweight generals to negotiate peace. So why, oh why, this team, these people were chosen to be sent to Istanbul? The first name that comes to mind is Sergei Lavrov, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He would be the right person after Putin if Putin didn't want to come to Istanbul. He would be the person big enough to take responsibility, smart enough to negotiate, experienced enough taking part in thousands of different negotiations on state matters. Instead, they sent these guys. Well, I tell you why. It's the same people who negotiated back in 2022 in Turkey. There was an attempt to come to a peaceful agreement in the same place in Istanbul, in Turkey, about a month after the war was started. And the Russian negotiation team, was headed by the very same person, Vladimir Medinsky. There were two generals, albeit one of them, the head of the GRU, was there. And there was another deputy minister of defense. And that was another clerk, deputy minister of foreign affairs. Same kind of people. And two of them were same people. Same ranks. Back then, Vladimir Putin wanted one thing. He wanted the surrender of Ukraine. And by sending the very same kind of people who are not supposed to be negotiating peace, Putin is sending the hidden message. Nothing has changed for him. He wants the same thing. He wants the complete capitulation of Ukraine. Well, obviously, that's not going to happen. So number 3, when you want to come to an agreement, you do anything to come to an agreement. If Putin wanted peace, he'd be jumping up and down, figuratively speaking, willing to start negotiating. He would take a much more personal and much more active role in these negotiations. He would be acting as the leader, the true leader. When it is your initiative and you know it can benefit you and it can score you points with people, anything, but you are the beneficiary of this. You do it yourself, you do it fast, you do it in the right way. We are not seeing that happening. On the contrary, Putin is acting as if this negotiation is nominal. The signs are in front of you, all of them. Number 4, when you want to come to an agreement, you don't prepare in advance to justify failure. And Russians have already started doing that. Russian propaganda has started preparing Russian people for the failure. The Russian media received a tutorial from the chief of the president's staff's office, the heart and the soul of the heart and the brain of Russian propaganda. A tutorial on how to write about the negotiations in Istanbul on May 15th. The appearance of the presidential aide Vladimir Medinsky in the list of participants is recommended to be explained by the fact that he led the delegation on negotiators in Istanbul back in 2022. Therefore, I quote, it is logical for him to continue his work, I unquote. Propagandists are also advised to note that when forming the delegation, Vladimir Putin was not influenced by, I quote, neither the words of Donald Trump nor the statements of Vladimir Zelensky, unquote. At the same time, the tutorial is already advising on the Kremlin loyal to the Kremlin loyal press to prepare the audience for the failure of these negotiations. The text of the tutorial talks about a new package of sanctions, and we know that if the peace is achieved, there will be no new package of sanctions. If it's not achieved, then there will be a new package of sanctions, at least by the Europeans. Perhaps the USA would join. I think that Donald Trump will be much angrier at Putin right now because he understands he got slapped in the face by Putin cutting him off this process, okay? So I forecast the high probability of the USA jumping on into this package of new sanctions if the negotiation fails, okay? So they have started preparing for this new package of sanctions already. The authors of this tutorial, they recommend telling Russians that the new sanctions will not harm, I quote, will not harm the development of the country. Russia is successfully coping with the challenges of any sanctions. The country's federal budget is adjusted already to take the sanctions, the new sanctions, into the account. I unquote. Separately, the sanctions on energy trade are also mentioned, which allegedly the authors of the tutorial, they advise to tell Russian people that this sanctions on energy trade do not affect the state of the energy complex, which is steadily developing. Now, friends, please let me in the comments if you know why would propaganda come up with something like this, would start explaining Russian people why the negotiation failed and what the effects of such failure, and that everything's going to be fine and the sanctions will not affect the country much. Why would they start explaining the failure even before the negotiations start? I only see one reason for that. Russian propaganda knows more than I do, you do, and everyone else does. They know that the negotiations are nominal and Russian team is not motivated to reach any kind of agreement, peace agreement. Unfortunately, I would rather see the peace agreement. Of course, I pray every single day, and I invite you to pray along with me for the bloodshed in Ukraine to be over as soon as possible. So this, to me, is a huge sign that the negotiations are nominal. Huge sign. The negotiations, the news, just before I started the live stream, the news came out that the negotiations will start tomorrow, May 16th. Today was a day of arrival, organization, and so forth. What I just told you, most likely we will be able to read in the newspapers day after tomorrow in the Russian newspapers. Day after tomorrow, if negotiations will be quick, or couple days after tomorrow, if they will take longer. I think there will be a few stages, couple, perhaps 3 days. We'll see. But we will definitely see an explanation of what the new package of sanctions means for Russian economy, just like I explained you right here, right now. And number 5, the biggest sign for me that these negotiations are bound to fail is that Vladimir Putin doesn't need peace. He doesn't want peace. I would like to talk more of his goals and of his goal. He really has one goal, in my opinion. He needs to keep his precious, the absolute power and absolute control over the country and Russian people for as long as possible. That is all. And it is so much easier to keep the absolute control, not to let it go, not to let others take it away from you when you are at war with somebody, with your neighbor. And when peace comes to your land, it becomes so much more difficult to keep the absolute power and the absolute control. And that, to me, is the biggest reason why I think that the peace negotiations are bound to fail. And I will not stop repeating it. I'm saying, unfortunately, because I want to see peace very much. Been praying for it since the war started. So these 5 reasons make me believe that there will be no peaceful resolution now. Putin simply doesn't need it. If he did, there would be peace in Ukraine now. The peace would come so much quicker. These negotiations, nevertheless, are important because they are showing us more on how Putin and his minions are acting. It reveals bigger and bigger picture. Knowing more information, we can forecast better. At least I can forecast better. So I am keeping my eyes open. I will be informing you on developments tomorrow. There will be a very tough day for the Ukrainians. Russians already know what's going to happen, I think. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, before I finish the message and invite everyone to join me in a live stream chat, and I invite you to ask me questions if you want to learn more on this subject. I'm ready to answer anything you throw at me. So stay tuned. Continue this live stream. Go into the chat. Before I turn the chat on, I would like to finish this message by reminding you that there are so many news come out of Russia every single day now. And I try to keep everyone informed by selecting 9 news per day that I find important and significant. And along with my commentaries and analysis, I make these 9 news available to patrons of Inside Russia. So if you want to keep up with the developments in Russia and of Russia, you know where to look. Consider becoming patron of Inside Russia, and the feedback that I have received is only positive. So thank you so very much. I invite to join me in the live stream chat right now. Amazing. We have gone through this live stream, through the message without interruptions, without power outage, and without internet cut off. In case you missed it, the internet. Both things happened when I was doing the live stream yesterday. First, they shut off the electricity, not for long, for about a minute, and then internet was cut off in the middle of a stream, so I had to re-record the video. So the live stream chat is on. Thank you, friends, for joining. This is the best part of any live stream for me. I love seeing the chat window explode with people's messages with you. Thank you. I just while I'm opening the live stream for myself, live stream chat for myself, I'd like to remind and ask to stay civil, to stay nice and respectful to each other in this live stream chat. Thank you so very much. And I'd like to mention the best people of Inside Russia community, the moderators who keep the community clean, pleasant, and awesome. They are Lorna, Mammy K, Bob S, Harry Potnin, Amir Fazad, and Dirk. Thank you, friends. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all your help. And the last thing, if you want me to see your question or message easier, please put it in all caps and put Inside Russia after @ That way it's highlighted in orange and I see it so much easier. And if I skip your question or message for some reason, it's not because I ignore you. It's usually because I just missed your question. There are so many of them. Keep on posting and sooner or later I will run into it. So, howdy friends. Howdy mods. Harry. Bob S. Lorna might be joining us soon. I'm not sure about everyone else. The usual suspects, fantastic to see you. George Rames, Just Terry, Scott, Woody, Sebastian, Satsuki. Hey yo. KG1, long time no see. Larry Barth, Roy Cousins, Pamtree Kate, good to see you. Yassine, Lilith Eden, Ronnie, David, Goffin fan, Faith Russert from Spain, long time no see. Tracy Stones, Viking, Keith from Hawaii. Thanks for the message, Keith. Thank you, Madap, Max, Rogue Bard, and Per Haglin. Thank you, friends, for coming. Let me jump to the questions and the comments. Before I do that, couple things I want to tell you. I am planning on releasing Friday news update tomorrow, Crazy Friday news, and I'd like to get your interest up to that. I actually visited 3 Russian companies. One is Gazprom, the second one is Rosatom, and the third one is Lukoil, that company that executives and the managers fly out of windows. I actually paid them a visit, and I filmed not everything, but I filmed something funny. So please stay tuned. I'm going to do a little different of a format tomorrow, and I'm going to start with that. Me filming myself, going, knocking on the doors, figuratively speaking, of those companies. So that's number one. And number two, concerning of the subject of today's live stream, a lot of people in Russia are uninformed. A lot of people in Russia think that there will be peaceful resolution tomorrow, day after tomorrow, in the coming days. They sincerely think so. They sincerely believe. How do I know? I have spoken to quite a few people. this is one thing that I would be absolutely delighted if I turned out to be wrong. If this peace comes from these negotiations, I'll be the happiest person. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I have voiced my opinion, and you know, I want you to mark my words. Viking, any comment on Oleg Salukov being fired a few hours ago? How can he be fired if he is in Istanbul? Let me double check right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, no, no, no. That's a different guy. Um, I think I know. Yes. Okay. Well, yeah. I thought you meant the guy, one of the generals who is in Istanbul right now. No, Putin fired Oleg Salukov. He didn't really fire him. He gave him a new job. Now he moved him to become the deputy of Shoigu, the deputy of the Secretary of Security Council of Russia. Now I don't really know what it means. I just saw the news, but I didn't dig deep enough to understand whether it's something extraordinary or something planned. Okay, and this is what we need to look at. What actually happened? I'm not ready to give you the comments. Perhaps I will include it in tomorrow's live stream, Friday Crazy News Update. Andres Benz, howdy. Kermo, good to see you. Pamela, great message, really clear stuff I wouldn't have thought of. Thank you so much, Pamela. I'm doing my best. Just Terry, good to see you. Your experience at negotiation shows when you deal with a subject like this. Thank you. Terry, thank you so much. Well, I negotiated a lot with people in Old Orchard Beach when I was the manager of. Well, I was a clerk at first, just a front desk person. Then I became the manager. Then I became the general manager of a small hotel, then bigger hotel, motel, then a couple of them, then a few of them. And you know what? For 9 years, 8 years really, that 7.5 that I spent because I studied and I didn't work for some time. So for 7.5 years, I negotiated with people on daily basis, with guests, with contractors, different kind of negotiations, sometimes conflicts, yes. And you gotta face people when there's a conflict. You gotta stand your ground, you know. At first, it was really tough. At first, I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm so thankful to the owners of the hotels I worked for. They believed in me. They gave me a chance to grow. I got such a gift from them, you know. It's incredible. Anyway, that was a very good school of negotiations. And then the corporate negotiations, they're really different. But as the foundation, you still negotiate with people, large teams. I handled a couple negotiations by myself, and I'm very proud of that. We built two large substations. They were two teams from Germany, from a company called Arriva. From Germany, there was a turnkey department based in Germany, and they came and I negotiated. I was by myself against a, a number of couple attorneys, a couple executives, vice president of Arriva, pretty big deal. It was a mistake to go by myself. I brought in just a small manager who was not a decision maker. but I pulled it off, and I'm still proud of it. Actually, one of the biggest achievements I did. And the second one was me and the shareholder of the company, just two of us. He gave me as his aide. He not gave me. He invited me as his aide. Um, his assistant, so to speak. And then we negotiated a large contract worth 80 million euro, about $100 million, back then with the head of the company called Arriva. It's a French company, very large one. It was bought by Alstom later, and then later it was bought by General Electric. But that guy, the Arriva was a state-owned company, and that guy, the CEO of Arriva, he answered directly to the president of France, and he still does, a different guy. And there were like 6 or 7 vice presidents, like his generals around him, and I remember that big table of intimidating executives, and it's just two of us. We got what we wanted, so I'm also very proud of that. So yeah, there were quite a few negotiations. So gosh, I could write a story on a few of them. Good old memories, Anyway, thank you so much, Terry. Sebastian, I kind of veered off. Lorna, good to see you. Thank you for coming. I got sidelined by memories. Sorry. Karen Barden, thank you so much for your message. Hertfordshire, UK. Thank you, Karen. Good to see you. Sebastian, something I tried to post a lot of time. End of war, Germany. Sorry, it feels more like end of World War II than end World War. It feels more like end of World War I rather than World War II. Victoria's army was backstabbed by insert enemy. Okay. Sebastian, thank you so much. You know what? It's a very good comparison. Very good. It does feel like we are in the beginning of the final chapter, but a very long one. Slow, long, I can't say uneventful. It will be very eventful, but it's going to be concentrated on Russia, inside Russia. And I don't think much will be happening in the front lines. The entire focus is on Russia, what's happening inside Russia, and that's where the victory will come to Ukraine from. J. James, thank you so much for the best wishes. Amir, wonderful to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Chris Fox, howdy. Chris from England. It is my birthday today, but I won't insist on your happy birthday tune. Well, you already said it, so it's my pleasure and my responsibility to sing this song to you. Everyone, please close up your ears if you don't want them to be broken by my singing, but that's what I usually do. Dear Chris, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you many happy returns of the day. Good health, lots of energy, lots of love, and many coins in your pocket. Thank you for being part of Inside Russia community. Uwe, guten Abend. Sam the Legend K, howdy, howdy. Konstantin, you might want to get a device called UPS, uninterrupted power supply. It allows a safe shutdown. You know what? Someone emailed me the same suggestion. I talked to our tech guy. Well, not my tech guy, but we have a tech guy, and Tashkent Breakfast Club. So this is what he said. He said, look, having UPS will not save you from internet cutoff, because if the entire apartment block goes black, equipment that is on the roof, I don't know, router or whatever, that distributes internet to every single apartment also goes black. Your computer is going to stay, your lights and your soundboard are going to be staying powered, but the internet will still be cut off, not on your side, but on the roof. Okay, that's how it works in Uzbekistan. But you know what? If it keeps happening, I'll definitely consider UPS. We had it in Fergana when I had a business there. We had a diesel generator, a big UPS, and we have small ones for every person. Omaha, Nebraska. Kev, if you see the Oracle of Omaha next time, please say hello from me. I admire the guy. D, good to see you. Long time no see. Thomas, same. Um, that's funny, Andy. Today, Ukraine should have got a Putin lookalike, set him at the table with a white flag, and declare full withdrawal, Russian withdrawal. Yeah, that's funny. Jodes Rames, what happened to the interview you did with the Russian dude earlier? Jodes, how do you know? How in the world do you know that I did an interview with a Russian dude? Jodes, dude, you are the dude, not the Russian dude, but you're good. We did an interview. We had a conversation earlier today, a couple hours ago, and I think he's going to post it on Monday because his interviews come out every Monday. So, but you'd better ask Artyom, that he knows better. I was the interviewee. He was the interviewer. Breaking news right now. The U.S. delegation, the U.S. team, also plans to visit Turkey tomorrow. It was not invited by anyone, but it wants to drop by. And uh, Americans are acting, I don't even know what's the right word, very odd. You just don't do that, but what do I know? What do I know? Now, I just need to fact check this. Anyway, tomorrow I will be keeping you informed of what's going on with the negotiations. Tom W., good to see you. Good to see you. Please come more often. Just Terry, do you think this is the last negotiations? No. How many there will be, I don't know. There certainly will be few days and a few stages this time. And there will be negotiations in the future. And the only way for us to know that this is it is when the peace agreement is signed and stamped. Okay, and that's going to be it. Paul Wright, it is my honor to have you as the member of this community. Thank you. Marcus Kirk, final chapter in the war. No, I disagree. At least another full year, maybe two. Marcus, please hear what I say. I'm saying this chapter, final chapter, is at the beginning lions, and it's going to be a very long one. This chapter might last for 10 years it is possible. It's going to be long and fairly slow. And throughout this chapter, you will see more and more demise of Russia as a country and more and more demise of the Russian economy. 1 full year? Absolutely yes. 2 full years? Most likely yes. I think it's going to last between 5 and 10 years. And I think that the front lines will freeze. They will slow down. The action there will slow down. Scott Nesbitt, it was great seeing you on the Russian Dude live stream today. That was a video. It was not a live stream. Wait a second. Something is odd here. Uh, where did you see me? On the live stream with Russian Dude. That beats me. Please let me know. Please let me know. How do you know what's going on? Deborah, sunny California, is on the line. Very glad that you were actually able to do this live stream today. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something new. I hope you find it useful. Thank you. Tony, what is preventing so many good Russians to end and demand this war to stop? Are they willing to suffer deaths and suffering forever? Or is a whole nation in fear of Putin so much? My personal experience, my thoughts that about 20% of Russians do not support Putin, do not support war. 80% do support Putin and war, give or take. There's a combination of factors. Factor number one is Russians are genetically professional sufferers. Okay, they are suffering, but that's not enough for them to demand something else. They think it's their fate to suffer. Number two, they're brainwashed. They've been made to believe that it's Ukraine who are the bad guys. That Russians are defending freedom of Russia. And number three, they think it's bigger than Ukraine. It's the world, the West against Russia. The West just cannot stand Russians in Russia. It envies Russia. It wants to destroy Russia. The Westerners envy how well Russians live, how how high moral values they have, and so forth. I don't even laugh anymore at that. It's sad to me, I used to laugh because it's just crazy, but it's sad. And I think that's what makes them continue suffering. And yes, most likely they will be suffering forever. I do not believe the revolution will come from the ground, from regular people in Russia. I believe it's going to be the fight of power clans. Martin Lundström, lots of trolls hacking internet now. Friends, I would like to, using this opportunity again, I would like to thank everyone who bought me coffees and sent something in Patreon. I have not had a chance to write back saying thank you. So I'm saying it now. I will be catching up, writing back. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate all the support. Demonetized, that's pretty much Patreon and PayPal and buy me coffees. That's all I have left. Sam, how do I mark Constantine's word from the UK? Write it down. Kirin Biru, howdy. What, in your opinion, do you think Putin will not even accept a pause of 30 days of fighting? I personally don't think he will accept because I cannot give you reasons for them. I don't have the reasons. It's just my gut feeling. Okay, based on what I'm seeing, something tells me in the gut he will not accept. If he accepts, he will break it, and or he will accept on his own terms. He's not willing to negotiate. He's not willing to compromise. He's just sitting there, probably eating peanuts and laughing at everyone. Sebastian, thank you. I did see your comment. Thank you very much. It's good food for thought. Just Terry, wasn't one of the deal breakers was that Putin show up. No, Putin was not going to show up. Zelensky challenged him, saying, "Hey, you know what? Be brave enough. I will fly and to Turkey and I'll meet you personally." And if Putin flew to Turkey, that things would have been different. He would show, like I said, and one of the reasons why I think this would be this deal is bound to fail. If he got up and flew to Turkey, which he could, then it would show his intentions to stop it. He would speak to Zelensky, and they would come to an agreement that, to peace. That would be the real deal. Look what's happening now. He's sitting in the bunker as usual. Dereshowitz from Minnesota, howdy. Kev Sullivan, what do you think will be the big Russian news stories in the next 5 months? Kev, you're putting me on the spot. They're going to be talking a lot about small things, trying to make them look big. Going to be talking about summer a lot. That's very, very favorable topic to speak. How Russians spend their summers, how wonderful Russia is. They don't need to fly to other countries. There are plenty of lakes and rivers and so forth. They will speak of the economy. It is becoming harder and harder for them to sugarcoat things, to speak in a positive way. Because when you see one thing on TV and then you go to a store, you see completely different thing. I think they will be blaming a lot of people for the problems in Russia, and of course not the authorities. Small businessmen, perhaps some prosecutors, perhaps some cops, whatever. Corruption, it's all led to this demise, economic demise, and so forth. And then of course they will be covering breaking news in a way they need to cover it at their angle, if you know what I mean. Yelena, you keep fighting? Well, I keep fighting, yes. Don't let them mess with you. I love and care about you and your family. Thank you so much, Yelena. You've been such a great member of Inside Russia community. Thank you. I see your name and your picture, and always glad to see you here. You're a friend. Hope the best for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sending you much love from Uzbekistan. Raimondas, in your opinion, who will be stronger when it'll happen? The government who will try to maintain the regime, or the society which will try to be free? The society, look at the USSR, what happened? The USSR was very strong regime. The KGB, the army, the federal police. Remember how fast it fell apart? 2 days. 2 days and one night, actually. So I think something similar might happen in Russia this time. Although I don't think it'll come. The initiative will not come from the bottom, from the people. Something will happen on the top, and people will join. This is what I think. Terry, inns is the best place to stay. I'm not sure what you mean by inns. Jill, howdy. Hackers and scammers are having a spring blitz looking for weakness in every means of communication. Agreed. Agreed. I'm actually very scared of losing the channel, the voice, not necessarily being hacked, but YouTube will say, hey, you know what, we've had enough of you. We don't like you. We don't like your face, and that's it. What would I do without it? That'd be a complete disaster. I think I'd go nuts. Sam the Legend, perhaps listen to classical music to help with the stress. Yes, it does. Sleeping a lot helps with stress. Meditating, that's what I've started doing. I'm trying my best. I gotta shave. Looking at myself right now, not liking the picture. I'm sure your fans would step up and think about the impact of thousands would have. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you. David Skeffington, a Canadian in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I hope you read your incoming message when you're not on the line live. Such messages in all I have been able to do for some time. Where do you send messages, David? Please let me know. Emails or erratic attempts? A beard could work. I don't like it. I like when I am without beard. Just a little bit. What is this called? Shitina. Anyway, just tiny little growth here. Not much. This is too much. Time reminder from Bob. Thank you so much. Okay, just let me take one more question. Tom W., do you think that if the thousands of fans would write a personal letter in your behalf to a politician, you'd have a better chance of getting into the USA? No. At this point, no. If that was the case, I would have asked. I've spoken to attorney about that. In the future, I might need letters of recommendation, but not at this point. But thank you so much. Tom, you are over exaggerating the power the politicians have in the USA. I personally know Angus King, the senator from Maine. I met him a few times when I lived in the USA. He was friends of my friends. And my daughter came to his office, reached out, and asked for help for expediting. Not not corruption or anything like that, but what's within his senatorial powers. He would do that for voters anyway, and total ignore. So a lot of people told me that they wrote to their senators, to their representatives, nothing. nothing. So I don't have much faith in U.S. politicians helping, at least me and my family. That's and the last question, Craig Hughes. How will Putin portray Germany's rearming and projected largest conventional army in Europe? Probably not well, but I will keep you informed. Thank you, friends. I would like to finish this live stream. And of course, I invite everyone to finish it with a prayer, as usual. Please join me, whether you are religious or not. I tell to all non-religious people that to me, it doesn't matter. I consider that each one of us, and you not being non-religious, have love in your heart. I haven't seen one person in my life who didn't have love. Everyone has love. Some more, some less, but we all have love. And God, in my understanding, in my eyes, is love. So God is in your heart, whether you like it or not, believe in Him or don't believe in Him, I think it's much more important that God believes in you than you believe into God. So please join me praying about peace and about countries and about people. Thank you. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for food you placed on our tables. Thank you for the roofs you've given above our heads. Thank you for the loved ones who surround us, our families and children. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe and peaceful. Give us wisdom to raise our children in a way that they will never engage in any war when they grow up. Only will make this world a better place. Please, for now, give our children safety and keep them safe and healthy. Dear Lord, I am asking for your help to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country has suffered so much and its people have suffered so much. They need peace as soon as possible. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of those people who are responsible and capable of making that decision to stop the bloodshed. Remind them that they are still human beings and there's still love in their hearts. Remind them that, please, wake them up from this lethargic sleep that have been sleeping. So they wake up, open their eyes, and get terrified of what they have done. And they will stop the bloodshed. Please help every single Ukrainian who has been affected by this terrible tragedy. Answer their prayers, make their dreams come true. I'm asking for my country, Russia. It has been hijacked by demons who we know by their names and by their faces. Please assemble your strongest angels with sharper swords. Have Saint Michael lead this heavenly shining army and get rid of the demons who have hijacked Russia. Please send your best angels to help good Russian people run the country, make it peaceful, loving, and respecting. Dear Lord, please send everyone who is traveling safety, safe travels. Send safety to everyone who is in danger right now of any kind. Please help single mothers and fathers who are struggling raising their children, trying to make ends meet. Help those who are helping Ukrainians and help Ukrainians who are currently under Russian attacks. Send your angels to help out and send everyone safety, please. Dear Lord, I am asking for the sick, the cold, the hungry, the homeless, the jobless, the addicted, the depressed, the ones who are crying, the betrayed, the ones who are going through divorce, the ones who are feeling left behind, the ones who are losing their faith, the ones who are just not feeling well in general. Please, dear Lord, help everyone who is in need of help. Reach out and touch their hearts, fill them with love. Let them know that you're right next to them. You haven't abandoned them. You still love them, and you will love them, and you still watch every step they take. Please help everyone in need. Thank you so much for this community, for allowing us to come together and pray. Thank you for everyone who's praying along with me or simply watching us pray. Please answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. Everyone who is praying along with me right now. I want to ask for help for a few people. They are Greg. Please send recovery. Have his kidneys work again. Have him recover completely and go home to be with his family, enjoy life with his family. Send him strength and send his loved ones, his family who surround him, strength as well. God bless his family. Please help Daniela From and her family. Ron Bazoid, Teresa D., Karsten, Janice Burgess, Rose Halbert Bronicky. Please help Lorna to completely recover and feel well. Ann Larson and Hannah, Jeffrey S. and family, Katharina Holm, Alex, Mark, Tom W., J.R. McKim, Gabing with Gary, Lisa, Harry, Terry, John, Linda, Paula W., Dennis, Jason, Carney, Susie, Tim, Dory, Rhonda, John, Taylor, Wayne, Dave, Darla, George Ruberty, Pamela, Meta Spencer, David Porter, and everyone who is in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Leif, Randolph, Grace, Dean Spooner and his church, Yelena, Natasha, Michael, Jake, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Svetlana, Sergey, Liz, Ron, Liz, Koshkin Dom, Sandra, Mike and Mike, Petra Olson, Joseph, Millie, Jodes, Philip, Eileen, Highwayman, Jeff Gibson, Derek Martinez, and Denise Abbott. Thank you, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, friends, for coming. Thank you for giving me a chance again. It's my honor to have you here. And I'd like to remind you that you are awesome and you rock. Please come back tomorrow. Don't forget, 3 large companies, Gazprom, Lukoil, Rosatom. I knocked on their doors saying, hello, it's me, Konstantin, let me in, let's speak. And I have something to show you. Something interesting, something funny. Okay. Tomorrow, please come back. As usual, I finish live stream by asking you to say out loud the same thing I say along with me, as loud as you can, the following. Carthago delenda est.